This is the Amy Edwards Show, and I'm your host, Amy. This show is here to help all of us live our best life and feel amazing at absolutely every age. We focus on transformation and empowerment through practical tools, strategies, habits, and mindset shifts that will help you unlock your potential, build self-love, and embrace your unique journey. We'll cover everything from health and wellness to personal growth and spirituality with inspiring guests and real conversations. So if you are ready to level up, break out of your comfort zone, and make lasting changes, you're in the right place. It's never too late. In fact, some of your best days haven't even happened yet. Let's get to it. Love this moment and make the next one even shinier. Here we are, and here we go. We are wrapping up our MaxLife series. I could not be more excited. Oh my gosh, this is so awesome. I am so excited with this one today because it's actualization, which is my word for the year, which just says so much to me. I've had transformation as my word before. I've had awakening as my word before, and this one just feels like for real. Like I want it to be, I'm lighting my Palo Santo. I want it to be my word forever, I think, actualization. But I suppose, like I said about miniature cycles last week, we go through mini cycles of mini cycles. Hi. All right, you badass. Are you ready to actualize all that we've been doing? And you know what? Again, takes time, no big deal, but let's talk about it today. So we're talking about fully living your boldest, most powerful self, most powerful life today. So just to quickly recap where we are in our final episode of the Maximizing Midlife, but we don't call it that anymore, MaxLife series, right? And we have gone through an awakening. The awakening was recognizing and challenging the outdated beliefs that we've been subscribing to and understanding that we have the power to rewrite our stories. Next, we've had transformation. We've been turning that awareness into intentional action and growth, right? In that chrysalis, in that cocoon of goo. The liquid goo phase, warm liquid goo phase. Okay. So let's jump into actualization, which I'm beyond excited about today. I mean, like, this is living it. All of it's living it. All of it's living it. Don't get me wrong. But this one, like, there's just something so dynamic about actualization. You know, what that means is living fully as the person that you have intentionally become. I am working so hard to do this in my own life right now. That's why I chose this word for the year. And I think that's why we're sitting here right now talking about this particular subject with this series about, it's very meta for me, right? It's like, not only am I doing these things in my life, but then also part of it is putting this out in the world. That's part of my actualization too. So it's like coming in different forms for me. So that is what this means. It means living as this person that you've transformed into. And it doesn't mean perfection of it, not at all. It's moving beyond the goals and aspirations to the actual being, to the reality of being it. And it does not mean perfection. It does not mean that if you falter, it's like a massive setback and you have to start all over again. No, progress isn't linear. Always remember that progress is not linear. It doesn't look like this. It looks like I'm doing my hand just straight up, you know, and at an angle, but it looks like this. We've all seen that meme, right? Where it's like the growth phase it's not just perfect. It's up and down. You have, you know, 2 steps forward, 1 step back sometimes. Okay. So, also let's address actualization as an endpoint versus a continuous evolving state of alignment. I really love that. It's not an endpoint. It's just this journey, because what fun is an endpoint anyway? I mean, like, I think that we know life doesn't have an endpoint. So I've always kind of theorized that that's why we love movies with an end and a happy ending and something neatly tied up in a bow. I listen to a ton of true crime, and I was listening to something today and I was like, I really like the cases that are solved. I understand the value in unsolved and that we need to talk about it to solve it, but I love the solving of it because there's too much in life that's a giant question mark and that you don't know how it ends. And it's an ongoing story. Pretty much everything, right? That's this evolving state of alignment that we're in. So anyway, sorry, sidebar there. Okay. So I transitioned from transformation to actualization with a constant checklist of things I felt like I had to do. And this was part of the evolution for me. I talked about it for a long time, like meditation. And then I would do, I would read my books and I would drink water. I had a long list. In fact, I could probably pull it up and show it to you. Maybe I'll put it in the show notes. And that was part of the transformation. Like I felt like I had to get it on lock to be it and have this list. And now I don't need the list anymore. And now I am it because it's not about the things on the list. It's about who you are. It's about that unconditional love state. And it's about living in an alignment place. And I had to repeat a lot of affirmations to get here. Affirmations were a massive part of my transformation stage because once I woke up to that stuff, like, oh, wait, I can unconditionally love myself. Hold on. And I haven't been, what? And then I had to, in my transformation phase, actually, I still do this, but I had to, constantly tell myself, I love myself. Life loves me. That has become my go-to mantra when I am laying in bed. If my mind wants to go back to the old ways of spinning, because that was a big one for me. And when it does that, I just fall right into, I love myself, life loves me. So simple. And now that is on lock. That is just a go-to for me. I can fall right into it and I fall asleep really, really fast. And I'm falling asleep in a beautiful state of alignment, of self-love. And it doesn't matter if you don't believe it. It doesn't matter if you think it's not true, because it is true. It doesn't matter if you don't believe it yet. You will believe it. And even at the moments that you don't, that's okay too. Just say it, right? And then it becomes who you are. And that's the actualization phase. So those are mindset shifts that go from being a practice to being you. And I think it becomes effortless at a certain point. Your life becomes a meditation rather than you having to sit down and meditate. You can simply just be. And I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. I scroll, I do all sorts of things, right? But it's easier for me to snap back to it. And I think that is one of the keys to life. And like Justin and I talk about that in our relationship. It's not about not ever having a disagreement or an issue come up. It's about how quickly you bounce back, how quickly you remember, oh yeah, this isn't how we do that. And you come back to the things that really serve you, and gratitude and love and all of that kind of stuff practices, right? And letting that be your authentic expression. Yes. So let's talk about what that means, right? This authentic expression. What does it mean if you embody your actualized self? It's the difference between what I just said, right? Trying and like repeating these things to yourself, keeping the list and having to refer to it, to being, to just being. And I used to beat myself up if I didn't do all the things on my list. And now it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. That's the difference. Actualization can show up in your daily actions and decisions too, with this unconditional love space, because you're just living as a version of love and peace and patience with yourself too, I think. I think peace might be the right word. It's about that authenticity. It's about consistency. It's about alignment. And I think that's what the transformation does. It gets you consistent. And also things come in seasons, right? There are times when we need things more than other times, and times when we go, I feel a little out of alignment. Let me dip back into a daily practice of reading every single morning, or journaling every morning, or gratitude practice, or meditation, silencing my mind, right? And a gratitude practice too is a good example, because I spent a long time writing things down every day that I was grateful for. And then I was like, I don't want to just feel grateful when I'm writing things down. I want to feel grateful all the time. So you start training yourself to feel grateful for even random stuff, right? Like something bad that happens, but something good came out of it, you can find gratitude for. And you start really learning to feel gratitude all the time. And then I reached a point where I said, I don't even want to have to train myself. What is that feeling of gratitude? So I tried to memorize that feeling of gratitude and just embody that. Just feel that feeling. That's the magnetism. That's the actualization. That's when you're being it. And it just feels really, really good and beautiful and aligned, right? So, as I said, this doesn't mean perfection. Doesn't mean we're striving for doing it all the time. I think that's part of the beauty of being human, is you're not going to be perfect. We're not going to have it all the time. And I like that. I think that there's a certain beauty to being able to remember and be like, oh yeah, I forgot. And you see something again with fresh eyes, and you get to enjoy the beauty of oneness, right? With nature or all of humanity. And those are really cool rememberings. And so can you tell I'm like off in the clouds right now? Like that is so incredibly special. So how can we navigate those setbacks, right? When we do something like I ate a bag of chips yesterday. Okay. I love chips. And I shouldn't have, and I didn't really want to, but I did. I'm so sorry. I have a cough right now. And I did, but I just realized that was just a moment. That's not who I am all the time. And it's, how can I have more compassion for myself and not beat myself up like I used to? And so maybe there's ways to analyze it and all that stuff, but really just come back into alignment. Come back to, is that who I want to be? No. And that was just a simple example, right? But it still is those moments where we stray from alignment. And so come back to that sense of self and knowing who I am. And who I am is getting better all the time. And so what if we have moments? So what? So yes. So just have those little self check-ins and make the necessary adjustments as needed to maintain that alignment and that authenticity and that trueness with yourself. So how do we actually do this? Well, how about some action steps? You know, I love me some action steps. We've been doing 7 action steps in each of these episodes. So here they are. We just talked about daily alignment. So number 1 is a daily alignment check-in. Ask yourself all the time, is this aligned with who I am now? Not that old version of myself. Is this aligned with who I am now? And that can just be a simple guiding principle, right? And just, it doesn't have to be anything complicated or fancy or hard to remember, right? And just as you make decisions throughout the day too, you can build that habit. Is this who I am right now? Is this aligned with who I am right now? And sometimes it's going to be like, no, and you shove the next chip in your face, and that's okay. That's okay. You're building habits. It's all right. It's all right. Give yourself some space. Number 2, an authenticity audit. Audit yourself and notice where you might be performing versus truly being yourself. And that includes saying what someone wants to hear rather than really being truthful, or what you think someone wants to hear, which is an attempt to control a situation. So you can truly get into a space where you're constantly checking yourself just a little bit. And I'm not saying you have to be super diligent with this, but it can become something where you step outside yourself and notice, like a habit of noticing. Number 3, an identity affirmation. You know, I love a good affirmation. I'm all about it. So you can repeat, I fully embody who I choose to be. I fully embody who I choose to be. And say it out loud. Number 4, consistent practices. Integrate small, consistent rituals that reinforce your actualized identity. For me, a lot of that is recording. That's who I choose to be. And I am actualizing that. And I have a consistent ritual, like, right, what I do. I lit Palo Santo. I wanted to get into a very authentic headspace to record this. I want to slow down and be intentional. And sometimes it's as simple as that, right? A little ritual that slows you down just a little bit, right? Maybe you get in your car, you find yourself rushing, and you take 3 deep breaths, right? And it just re-centers you. Number 5, reflection and journaling. Take the time to regularly reflect on your journey to reinforce your actualization. This can be on your notes app, an evolving note. I like an evolving note where you add to it all the time and you think about the progress that you've made. It can be little wins. They do not have to be big. Like, I ate completely healthy today, which I did. And as simple as that, right? And just little wins. And you're training yourself all the time. Oh, that's who I am. That's who I am. And it feels really good. And you can be proud of yourself. Number 6, celebrate your authenticity, right? That's when you get proud of yourself. Recognize and celebrate those moments when you're fully aligned and authentic. I am celebrating today. Just recording this, finishing this series, recording my first Best You that's going to be out this week on YouTube. I mean, I've wanted to do that for so long. And those are my fully aligned spaces and my authentic spaces. And so I am really excited to celebrate those. How am I going to celebrate it? Well, I figured out a new reward of stopping at Summer Moon and getting a coffee. I really love their coffee. And I decided, like, I'm going to treat myself to it more often because that feels so exciting. Isn't that wild? A little treat. All right. And number 7, community connection. So share your actualization journey with supportive friends or community to reinforce this identity. And that can be right here. You could put it in the comments. You could send it to me. Like, send it to me. I would be your biggest cheerleader, 1,000,000%. So who can you share it with? Like, I am doing this. I am MaxLifing, if that's a word. And I am just so happy. So those are the 7 action steps. I'm just so happy that we have made it this far. You're a badass for making it this far. Yeah. So take a little time, reflect on this journey. Remember that there's micro cycles within this, right? Awakening, transformation, actualization. We'll have new things that we wake up to all the time. I had just one today about fear, but that'll be my best you. Right. And so all those little things that come up, right? Awaken to, transform and actualize it, be it. Actualization is ongoing. We evolve, we grow, and you're always stepping into it. Who you are right now, loving that, and who you are becoming all the time and being all the time, more of your authentic self, right? Remember that some of your best days are still unfolding, right? Keep living fully in your power. That is such a beautiful thing. And share it. Stay connected. I'm celebrating you right now and this continuous evolution. Celebrating me, celebrating you. Let's take that deep breath. It feels so good. I'm so proud of you. So proud of me. So proud of us. Let's celebrate this. Keep shining bright. Keep being that shine. Actualizing it all the time. You are a badass. I love you so much. Please do all the things if you can. Rate and review the show or share it with a friend. This is community, right? Anybody who's in that growth mindset and looking ahead. You are so awesome. I love you so much. Till next time. Thank you so much for being here. Please rate, review, and follow us. And we'd love to hear your feedback. Keep shining bright.